So I think over the past couple of years, I have answered that question like 100 times maybe. So usually what I do is I start with my story after I graduate college. So I did my engineering in 2016, and post that my first job was in the field of business analytics and consultancy. I experimented in this field for a year, and then I transitioned to finance owing completely to my personal interest in capital markets. And that's when I joined Capstone, where I was working as a trader in the US equities market, where we traded mostly small and mid cap equities. And while I was trading, I wanted to leverage my engineering background, and I wanted to leverage technology to further enhance my profits. And that's how I thought, like, hey, maybe I should explore quantitative trading or like algorithmic trading. And that's when I joined QuantInsti, and it provided me the exposure to this industry and the things that you could do with a simple platform like Python. And it could be so powerful with that. And as I was exploring this journey, I wanted to learn more about this industry, gain more experience. For that reason, in 2019, I came to the US and joined my MS Finance program at University of Rochester. At University of Rochester, I got exposure to a lot of aspects of the investment management industry, the quantitative finance industry, especially factor-based research. So I spent a year and a half working with a quantitative advisory firm based here in Rochester, where I worked on quantitative portfolios based on factors. I worked on performance attribution, so on and so forth, multiple projects. And then when I was exploring what I could do next, we have seen that digital assets have grown tremendously over the last couple of years or so, and it has gained institutional attention over the last 2 years as well. So that was one field I wanted to explore next. So for that reason, here I am. I just joined Galaxy Digital a month and a half ago, and I'm working on their product development team, where we develop products such as indices, or basically a new type of funds for institutions and retail as well. And that has been my journey so far. So what I love is I love go-karting. So wherever I go, I usually find a go-karting track nearby. So that's how that's like my go-to activity to relax and like blow off some steam. I enjoy watching movies, like I'm a huge movie buff. And third thing that I love to do is I love to explore different cuisines. Time management becomes challenging at times, but somehow it comes to me a bit easily, I would say, because I have always been, like, since I was a child, before I even understood this concept, I always wanted to make things efficient. So, and the reason for that is because I'm a bit lazy as well. So I want to make everything efficient so that I don't have to take those additional efforts. That's the whole reason behind it. So in making things efficient, that helps me manage my time well. Like, you prioritize, right? Like the tasks that you have, you prioritize them. The high priority ones, you attack them right away. You get them done. Once they are done, you have some room left for your hobbies, your other activities, pursue other interests, and do all of that. And one thing I always do is I keep a tiny buffer and all my commitments that I have. So that tiny buffer, if it goes unused, that's like, again, spare time that I can use elsewhere. My very first interaction with capital markets happened when I was during my first year of engineering, I opened my Demat account for the first time, and I started doing some fundamental research on companies. Whatever little knowledge I had, like it wasn't something fancy that I did, like something just basic, looking at the company, what industry they are in, what sector they are in, what they do, so on and so forth. And I started purchasing shares of those companies based on whatever little savings that I had. And probably it's like beginner's luck. I started getting good returns, so that was like a good encouragement for me. Those initial good returns that I received, and 2 years later, so that just remained a hobby for a couple of years after that. When I was actually in that field professionally, when I joined Capstone, when I was trading every day for like as a source of income, that's when I realized that. So the main challenge that I faced was there were like dozens and dozens of tickers on my screen, and for me, it's not humanly possible to cover like all of those tickers, watch every ticker at the same time. And because the thing is, I had started developing good strategies, and there were results there. But at one point, I realized that I was able to focus on just 4 to 7 trades at a time. But that wasn't enough. Like I wanted to focus on like hundreds and hundreds of stocks and probably trade like dozens of trades at a time simultaneously, which is not possible manually. So that is what led me to algorithmic trading. Like, hey, how can I just automate things? Because human limitations, they play a huge factor when it comes to trading. So I just wanted to enhance it and scale it. So I was looking for a scalable solution, basically. And that's when I joined QuantInsti, and I was exploring. So one thing good that happened was I learned about algorithmic trading after I learned trading. So that somehow helped me. So usually, sometimes I hear what people do is they learn about quantitative finance or algorithmic trading first, and then they get into the industry and then they start trading. So I think if you do it the other way around, it's more effective, because you know where to apply what, and that will give you better results sooner. That's a great question. Actually, it was quite challenging for me. Like all of the courses that were related to, say, capital markets, they were quite easy for me to get my head around them because of my past experience and my time with QuantInsti and everything. So that was manageable, but the core finance subjects such as accounting or economics, it's so funny, like my initial first couple of tests at during my master's program, none of my I couldn't balance my numbers, like like the debit credit, like none of them, the final number never matched. So it was quite challenging for me to get my head around those rules and everything, because there are like so many exceptions that you have to remember, and small nuances that you have to take care of. So yeah, it was challenging, but you eventually get there. So initially, when I started with the course, it was quite daunting, because once you finish college, attending a 3-hour lecture that too over a weekend, like I had my doubts, like whether I'll be committed to it, because it's a long-term commitment. It's not some course that finishes like a couple of weeks. It's a 6-month commitment. So I did have some apprehensions, like, hey, like 6 hours over the weekends, is it going to be possible for me, and stuff like that. But somehow it caught my interest, and there was Yes, I admit I missed a lecture or two, but beyond that, I attended almost all of the lectures. They were brilliant, and the way I learned was by practicing. I think for me, that's the only way I can learn, because I can go through tons of material, right? Like I can go through a lot of books, I can go through a lot of decks, I can go through a lot of papers, but unless and until I actually apply what I'm learning, I don't exactly learn and get a real grasp of that thing. So the best way I learned is whatever I learned during the lectures or during the coursework, I used to practice. Jupyter Notebook became a good friend of mine. So I spent a lot of time just scripting different kinds of strategies, programs. And one of the most beneficial thing that I find very helpful even now is the project that I did during the last 2 months of the program. And Mr. Varun was my mentor that time, and his mentorship, his guidance, and everything just helped me tremendously, and it continues to help me even to this day. Finance is one industry that probably it attracts people from like any and all other industries out there. So the better the diversity, the better it is, because you never know what kind of idea you might get by discussing these, discussing about the capital markets with like people from different backgrounds, because every person from a different industry has a unique perspective to offer. And speaking about faculty, they are like amazing, very, very successful people, but at the same time, they are like super humble. So even though like they are like very impressive, they don't intimidate you. So all of them, they were very approachable. So I could approach them with like even the silliest of the silly questions that I had, and with equal enthusiasm, they used to answer all of my questions as well. So that was nice. So I never found them intimidating, and they helped me tremendously solve any queries or questions I had during the course of my time. I think the faculty, hands down. Like, it's rare that you would find people from like within trading itself, from like options trading, equities trading, futures trading, professors like Professor E.P. Chan, like all of these amazing people at the same place. So for me, that's like learning from them. It's like that was an incredible opportunity. So I find that the faculty is like the best feature. After that, I would say a close second would be the online resources, the plethora of online resources that you have, because with time, those resources just keep on building, and that's amazing. And also the placement services, because after going through all of this, we'd like to have the opportunity to again apply all of our knowledge as well. And having that placement cell, actually, it's quite beneficial for the students as well, because they at least know that they are not alone in this, because finding a job in this field is tough, because again, it's a very niche field and there are only so many openings. Like a company might hire 100 data scientists, but they might hire just 2 quants a year. So for a difficult and niche industry like this, it's good to know that QuantInsti will support you and help you land the job that you would be the perfect fit for. So I have always been a strong supporter of EPAT since I graduated batch 38. Things to improve, yes, there'll always be things to improve. Like there's like, even right now, like everyone, we are all improving every passing day. So, but that said, it's a really good initiative for someone who wants to explore what's out there. and it's like a one-stop solution for anything related algorithmic trading. Like I can't comment about improvement because since the time I joined, the course has evolved so much and it has already improved so much. Like when I go through the curriculum of the current EPAT batches, it's like it has already improved quite a lot and evolved a lot. And the best part I like about that is you guys are pretty agile and adaptive, and you stay in touch with the latest market trends. So that's definitely going to be very helpful to anyone who takes up the EPAT program. From students' point of view, like the students also need to realize is what kind of expectations to have from a course like this. Like, so usually I come across students or potential students reaching out to me. Some of them, the kind of expectations that they have is that they want to take this course, and 2 months after they graduate from the course, they want to start making a lot of money by trading. So it's not going to happen overnight. Like, and just by taking up a course, that doesn't mean that you start getting success in trading. So those two are two separate things, but they combine into one and have that expectation from the institute. And when that doesn't happen, they get disappointed. So it's important for the students as well to understand and manage the expectations about what are the exact benefits they're going to get, and what is beyond the scope of this. My journey so far, it has been sort of a unique one in a way that navigating the journey that I've had, it's like much difficult. There are like better ways to go about it. So my advice would be, first would be like to start trading and get like real market exposure. It might be like you can trade with like literally as small amount as possible for you, but you have to trade, because without actually getting that real exposure to the market, there's not much you can learn just from theory and books and courses. So first advice would be to start trading with whatever small amount you have. Second advice would be to be better at programming. When I say programming, you don't have to I don't mean syntax or like a specific this thing, like a specific language of sorts. When I mean good at programming, I mean you need to understand what type of data is available out there in the market, how you can analyze that data, and what kind of analysis would give you good results. Because again, there's something I never forget. Correlation does not mean causation. So while performing analysis, a lot of times it so happens that we get stuck on like one sort of strategy or one sort of signal, and the backtest perform beautifully and everything, but when you start applying those strategies, the reality becomes a bit different, because that's how statistics trick you at times. Like, it shows high correlation, but there's no causation behind it. Like, so that's my second advice. And third advice would be have faith in yourself and keep working at it and trust the process. So it's like there might be days when you're like full of self-doubt, but you just keep going at it, and there will come a time when that self-doubt will clear itself and you will start seeing results. So you have to be persistent in whichever field or whichever direction you're moving along.